The physics of distributed free will and the mathematics behind it, coming soon. For each new emerging moment moving forward, let us nudge time down a better path. The physics of distributed free will and the mathematics, coming soon. For each new emerging moment moving forward, let us nudge time down a better path. Each emerging moment comes from the causal vectors and potentialities present in the previous moment. We can adjust these causal vectors moving along so that they influence the future as each new emerging moment is literally created on the fly. I'll get into the quantum scale, how that literally happens, but I'll catch on to it briefly here. Particles of time are emerging, being literally created. Creation is ongoing for each new emerging moment. Creation is ongoing. Whatever started at the Big Bang is simply continuing now. The universe is 4 dimensions, as in our model. It expands along a single edge, and that edge is simply this moment now, emerging into the next moment, and so on. For each new emerging moment moving forward, let us nudge time down a better path. We participate in this through our distributed free will. Okay, I see we are on the path in I-81. But that is not clearly relevant. It's just I had to make a video to get this audio. For each new emerging moment, literally created from these space-time atoms or Lego blocks at the quantum scale, or time-ons, or whatever we end up calling them. They will be, whatever we end up calling them will be, you might as well call them Lego blocks, because they will be concept templates to be further described. That the quantum scale is so far beyond us, we cannot see it, we can barely imagine it, and to describe such things is risking being placed on an admission ward if you just say these things in the wrong venue. So let the physicists laugh. Let those who see it, see it. For each new emerging moment created from these quantum particles becoming real as they are literally created on the fly with the states, the causality vector states being set as we nudge them. For each new emerging moment moving forward, let us create the next moment on the fly by nudging it via participation in distributed free will. For each new emerging moment moving forward, let us nudge time down a better path. Who gets to decide what the truth is? Who gets to choose this better path? Well, we all do, if we think it through. We must all think it through and choose this better path. Each of us has local influence only. Some of us have a bit more. But we must choose our better path. How do we do this? Each of us has power beyond our authority and means. How do we apply this power? Act in your own self-interest and, a mathematical and there. It's best if you don't do just one or the other. You must do both. And the good of the community. Act in the good of the community and your own self-interest. But how does one know what one's own self-interest is? Well, it helps if you think it through and not just believe all the parents yakking at you. You must think for yourselves. You are your own. You are your own. Think for yourselves. Do not allow others to simply squawk at you what you think. At least know who you are and what you think. Think it through. Guide your own self down a better path as well. That is part of acting in your own self-interest. And when you help guide the community down a better path, that is the and part that I have spoke of. For each new emerging moment moving forward, nudge time down a better path. Who will do the mathematics behind this? I cannot. Math is not my food. Math is not what I do. Well, excuse me, I can do it, but it takes so long. Never approach infinity in your calculations in a simulation. Our model is a simulation, requires thinking it through and reevaluating from time to time. Proceed only in the level of precision that the situation requires. And when the situation requires more prudent precision, then apply more precision. But remember, do not approach infinity in your calculations in this simulation, or you will be tangled up in getting nowhere. And that is not a good path at all. That just shrinks you toward infinity. That's not a good poet. That's too poetic to make sense. But that is what popped out of my mind in the synchronicity of the moment. Now, how does synchronicity work? Well, each of us applying our own influence. Each of us applying our own influence. If we truly mean well, if we have good-minded mindfulness applied to it, and get the and right, act in our own self-interest and act in our own self-interest and the good of the community. Well, the community, what is that? That can be further defined depending on precision. Act in your own self-interest and the good of the community as each of these emerging moments move forward, literally created on the fly. These particles of time did not exist before. They are being created from somewhere that is beyond us. Perhaps this is the physics that will explain the metaphysics. Perhaps this is a blending of things that have been barely expressed in religion, and things that can have been barely expressed in physics coming together, moving forward, and perhaps this theory of everything, still beyond us, can be better done as a simulation, lowering the precisions so that we can at least partially understand it and expand our perspective as we know more. Expand our perspective as we know more, while thinking it through, while learning more. When we learn more, we make adjustments to our simulation and our calculations. Now, I'm running out of battery. My battery's about to go. I've got to save this before it's all lost and goes poof. The rest of this is up to you. Think it through. Make use of what I just said, I hope. Make use of what you know. Apply whatever mind sparks you have to this problem, to its solution, and let it fly.